There, I'm going. So, hi, I'm Nancy Harkness. I'm a romance author. You guys should know that by now, right? This is Writer Unedited number 34, coming to you on April 10th. No fancy outfit, although I am a little dressed up today because I had book club. Oops, book club. So I'm a little duded up, but for book club. And no fancy backgrounds except for my vase of tulips and my book. And I just chat about whatever I've been thinking about this week. So please put something in the comments to say hi so I know who you are. Ask questions if you have questions. And just keep in mind that if you happen to miss one of my lives, I have them all up on my YouTube channel. And I will put in the link in the comments when we're done here. So I think last time I talked, I showed you the beautiful cover for Royal Kaleva Louise and told you that it's up for pre-order now for $2.99 on Kindle. It's a special pre-order price. The price will go up after it's released to $4.99. So grab the king while he's cheap. He's a cheap king right now. The book releases on June 25th. What else was I supposed to tell you about this? It will be in audio and in print as well on June 25th, but I can't put those up for pre-order because Amazon won't let me. So I do think my king is gorgeous, right? Isn't he gorgeous? So you can have some of his gorgeousness for yourself because I have bookmarks. Woohoo! Bookmarks, aren't they pretty? Isn't that pretty? And then here's the back. Also pretty, has Gabrielle on it as well, right? So, for my newsletter subscribers, exclusively for my newsletter subscribers, you can get a free autographed bookmark if you are among the first 100 people to request it. But this is so I will announce that in an upcoming newsletter. So make sure you open all my newsletters coming up, because the bookmark offer will be in my newsletter only. So as soon as you get that newsletter that says free bookmarks, you should reply and tell me you want one and send me your mailing address, okay? So you'll get an autographed one. It's completely free to you. My lovely assistant, Kathy Jenna, sends them out for me. She's wonderful about that. But I just think the bookmark is fabulous. Of course, it's based entirely on the cover, which I also think is fabulous. And again, here's the back, and you can see the cover on the back, sort of. It's a little out of focus. So there it is. Okay, that's about bookmarks. Now, what else was I going to talk about? Yes. So, have you ever wanted to talk back to me when we're on one of these lives? Because I love to have people talk back to me. So Susan Carlisle, who's a fellow romance author, contemporary romance, she specializes in medical romance, so heroic doctors, sexy heroic doctors, and I have teamed up, and we're going to do one Zoom every month on the third Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m., so same time of day as this, Eastern Daylight Time, I should say. And again, it is exclusively, I don't know, I can't say that tonight, for our newsletter subscribers. So if you subscribe to Susan's newsletter or my newsletter or both, which would be lovely, you will get the Zoom link for the upcoming Pulling Back the Curtain, which is what we're calling it. And that's next Tuesday, 16th, April 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But you have to check my newsletter. So if you're subscribed, keep an eye out for it because the Zoom link will be in it. And we will be talking about what we're working on as far as our books. We will be talking about real life experiences, like I'll be chatting about my Panama trip. And we will be giving away two books, one from me and one from Susan every time. So check it out. And the great thing about Zoom is, of course, you get to talk back. It's like going to be a conversation. I'm really excited about that because I miss chatting with my readers since in-person events kind of died down there because of the pandemic. So I hope you will subscribe to one of our newsletters if you haven't already and join us at the Zoom. It's called Pulling Back the Curtain. because of the scene in The Wizard of Oz where Toto pulls back the curtain, so you see the wizard working all the levers, of the mighty Oz. And we feel like that's what we're doing. We're going to expose the magic. What is the magic that writers do? Of course, we don't think it's magic. Actually, that's not true. I do think it's magic. That's why I never talk about a book while I'm working on it. I'll talk about it, but I don't talk about my process because I actually honestly think it's magic. I don't know how I do it. I just don't. It comes. It's there. It's in my head. Those people are in my head. It just happens. So I suppose it is magic in a way. But we're going to try and show you a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes. And what else? So I went to the Greenbrier Hotel over the weekend. Now, the Greenbrier Hotel is this internationally famous resort hotel in the mountains of West Virginia. And as you probably know, I grew up in the mountains of West Virginia. And in fact, about 10 miles away from the Greenbrier. So the Greenbrier was a big part of my childhood. We didn't stay there so much, but we would go over and eat dinner, or my parents would go over and have cocktails, and my sister and I would have Shirley Temples. We played tennis there. We swam in the pool there. I actually took junior life saving at the pool at the Greenbrier. I never passed it. I'm not a great swimmer, honestly. And the two people I was taking it with were these very large young men, and one of them just didn't float. He just didn't float. He was not buoyant. And so, that thing where you have to put your arm, your elbow around their neck and swim across the pool with this limp body in your hands. I couldn't do it because he would not float. I had to keep kicking his butt to keep him above water. It was not a fun experience. So guess what? I'm still not a junior lifeguard, but I took part of the course anyway. So why was I at the Greenbrier? Well, my extended family decided to meet. We were going to go for Easter, but it was very crowded at Easter. We couldn't get a room. And so we went a weekend later, and we stayed in this very grand suite, which if you look on Facebook, you'll see pictures of that I posted earlier, called the Greenbrier Suite. 4 very nice sized bedrooms, a huge sitting area. And what I love is the entrance hall, which is completely useless, but grand and gorgeous with black and white check tiles and red walls and elaborate mirrors. And it's spectacular. So it makes you feel like royalty when you walk in. In fact, I was thinking my royal family from Kaleva would be very comfortable here because, in fact, it turns out a lot of royalty has stayed at the Greenbrier. The Prince and Princess of Monaco, for one, and there were 2 children, I think, in the picture. The Duke and Duchess of Windsor, and of course he abdicated the crown of England. Who else? Oh, some Norwegian, King Olaf of Norway, and I want to say there was someone else, but I can't think who it was now. A lot of presidents, of course, but I'm into royalty these days. So I'm thinking maybe the royal family of Kaleva will take a little vacation and come to the Greenbrier Hotel. That would be fun, right? So the other thing that it's famous for, besides being an amazing resort hotel, is, of course, the bunker. I don't know if you guys have heard of the bunker. I'm getting no comments here. I don't know if people are commenting or not, but I'm going to start them again. So the bunker is, I think I read somewhere, it's 720 feet underground, under a wing of the Greenbrier. And it was built in the late 50s and I think early 60s to house Congress in the event of nuclear war. And it was called Project Greek Island. And you can now take tours of it, and it's actually quite fascinating. There's a 25-ton blast door that you go through to go into it. And, of course, that would have been closed and locked. And I think they said they would have been able to survive 60 days there, perhaps. They kept it stocked with food and water and fuel. And it's an interesting contrast to the Greenbrier Hotel itself, because the Greenbrier Hotel is all elegance and opulence. And the bunker is stacks of bunk beds and metal desks and nothing fancy at all, because they were just going to cram the members of Congress in there. There's a press room with a photograph of the Capitol building with the American flag flying in the background where they were supposed to give their press briefings, I guess. But of course it was never used. And in 1992, a reporter from the Washington Post, broke the story, blew the secret, whatever, except the hilarious thing was we all knew about it. Everybody local knew that it was there. We hadn't seen it, but we knew people who had worked on building it, and we always knew it was there. So when this reporter broke the story, we were like, oh, yawned. Yeah, right, the bunker. But at that point, I guess the threat of nuclear war had waned a bit, and the government didn't want to keep supporting it, so they declassified the bunker. And now you can take tours. It's kind of fun. You should go take a tour if you ever have a chance. So Sally says, life-saving. I love it. Well, Sally, that's because you are a good and enthusiastic swimmer. If you are a bad and unenthusiastic swimmer, life-saving isn't so much fun, let me tell you, especially not with a large non-floating guy to pull across the pool. Not my idea of a good time. So if you're interested in a little more interested in the Greenbrier, someone gave me this book. It's a new book called In the Shadow of the Greenbrier by Emily Matcher. It's a novel, but Emily Matcher did her homework, and there is a ton of factual stuff about the Greenbrier. There are spectacular descriptions of the Greenbrier and of the area around it. She is a really skilled writer. I believe she's a reporter, actually, and has worked for the Washington Post. Look at that. She did not break the story then. So if you want to have a taste of the Greenbrier, I actually highly recommend this book. It's a 4-generation saga, and it's a Jewish family that lives in the shadow of the Greenbrier. They live in White Sulphur Springs, which is the little town that essentially is attached to the Greenbrier Hotel, pretty much. And as I said, the descriptions I thought were brilliant. So if you want to know more, this is it. So what did Sally have to say? Hey, men don't float. Too much muscle mass. Oh, is that what it is? Well, so one of the guys floated okay, but there was one who just sank like a rock, and he was always the one I got assigned to. And now they have rescue tubes. Those must float, right? Rescue tubes float, I guess. Hope so. Cool. So I wouldn't have had to drag him across the pool and kick his butt to keep him afloat. Oh, well. Too bad they didn't invent them sooner. Or maybe they would have made us do it anyway, just to prove we could. So, since you guys are such good, and actually, Sally, you may be winning this, because I only see your comments. Anyone who's commented gets a chance to win peach iced tea from the Greenbrier. I brought this back especially for my wonderful Facebook friends who come and visit me on Facebook every Wednesday. Sally's laughing. Are you laughing at the peach iced tea, or are you laughing at my swimming stories? So, if you're interested in the peach iced tea, you got to comment right now, because there's another person here as a viewer. So, it's Sally and who's the other person? Quick, write a comment so you're in the running for the peach iced tea, because it's really good. Really good. So, it's 10 iced tea bags makes 10 quarts of gourmet iced tea. Ah, there's a third viewer. Better put your comment in really fast so you can be in the running to win the peach iced tea. Sally says, and me winning, and what are iced tea bags? Well, they're tea bags, and then you put them in hot water. So, do you want the directions, Sally? Boil a cup of cold water and pour over tea bag into a quart container. Steep for 15 minutes. Fill with 3 cups of cold water. Remove tea bag and gently squeeze it. Garnish with lemon, orange slice, or fresh mint. So you boil 1 cup of water, you pour it over the tea bag into the quart container, let it steep for 15 minutes, and then you add 3 cups of cold water to that. Think you can do that, Sally? I think you can do that. Do you like peaches? So far, Sally's winning, because she's the only person who's commented. No one else wants to comment, huh? Peach iced tea is good. All right, Sally, looks like you are winning the peach iced tea. Lucky you. Okay, I got nothing else to say because I just got home from the Greenbrier and I'm at 6s and 7s. Sally, that's a nice Regency phrase, isn't it? Being at 6s and 7s? I think it's Regency. Sally says, I'll have Mr. M do it. He's the cook. And I bet he will do a fine job. Since we're finally having some spring weather, this will be good for that, right? Okay, so I'm going to say good night and hope you guys have a lovely rest of the evening. And I will be back here next week at the normal time of 2 p.m. as far as I know. Sally says, are your edits all in? Yes! Yes! Oh, I didn't tell you that. So Luisa's edits are on my copy editor's desk. Yay! But now I'm working on the novella again, Ben's novella. So there's no rest for the weary. Actually, it was interesting. My copy editor and I just had an email exchange about whether to italicize quotation marks or not after an italicized foreign word like señor or dragon, or, you know, the Spanish that's in my books, the little tiny bits of Spanish. Because sometimes you get this weird overlap if you have an italicized like question mark, because, you know, they slant, and then you don't italicize the quotation marks, they can write over each other. So we were having a big debate about what to do about that. Ultimately, we decided to be consistent and only italicize the quotation marks around an entire line of dialogue that's in italics. Otherwise, the quotation marks are not italicized because that is the proper way to do it, but it still sometimes screws up the tall punctuation, as I call it. These are the crazy things that writers talk about, right, Sally? Right? We talk about these crazy things, like the difference between a daffodil and a jonquil. Yes, I saw that on Facebook today, Sally. And I didn't have time to read the article yet, but I'm dying to find out what the difference between a daffodil and a jonquil is, because we call them both. Sally says, yep. Yep, to all the crazy things writers talk about. Because Sally's a writer too. Wonderful writer of Regency romances. All right, so now I'm going to say goodnight. But Sally, thank you for asking me about my edits, because I did mean to talk about that. You ended with a poem? Really? Cool. I used to write poetry, so I'm all about poems. All right, I'm going to say goodnight again. This time it's really good night. Thanks for stopping in, Sally. It was great to chat with you in our own odd way. Oh, yes, and then my heart with pleasure thrills and dances with the daffodils, or something like that. I may have that a little wrong. And that is how I feel. My daffodils are in full bloom now, and they make me so happy. My heart definitely dances with the daffodils. Well, Sally, thank you for stopping by and being such a wonderful commenter. You earned that peach iced tea for sure. And I'll be in touch, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Take care. Bye.